All right, guys, welcome to My Kind of Convo. I'm your host, Chris.
I'm your hostess, Kim.
And it's Criss Cross. Hi. So thank you guys again for tuning into another episode with us. We hope to keep you entertained, spread the word as usual, and definitely check out our platforms. I think we're just going to hop right on into it right now. So, yes, which one of my lovely ladies would like to hop on in, if you like?
I mean, I'll go. I'm chilling.
All right.
All right,
Let's go.
We're about to do this.
All right.
All right. So a little over a month ago. A little over 2 months ago. A TV show came out on Amazon Prime. Batman Cape Crusader.
Oh. I don't know if you've seen it.
I have not yet. I haven't yet. Is bad?
No.
It's debatable. It's debatable.
I'm
Let's talk about it.
I'm gonna let Kim.
We're gonna talk about it. So, Cape Crusader came out with the same producer as the original Batman animated series, Bruce Timm. I love me some Bruce Timm. Okay.
Yeah.
Created multiple characters. I've watched the animated series from front to back about 4 times.
Yeah.
Cool beans, always. Now, Batman and the Cape Crusader has done a little bit of flip-floppity.
Not a little bit. I don't know what you mean a little bit.
Flip-floppity.
It's a lot more than that.
And a lot of things are changed. It is a very noir version of Batman based in the 1940s, which is not the problem. Not the problem at all. We do have a lot of changes with some certain characters. And I am not talking about color changes as in race changes. Race changes mean nothing to me. To other people, it may mean something bigger. But race changes like Barbara Gordon and Commissioner Gordon are now of African American descent.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. But now that it is pretty much set in the 1940s,
Yeah.
there are some character aspects that I am not too fond of. And there are some characters that I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
just putting it that way. Being a person that does like, I am a huge Harley Quinn fan, which means I do follow a lot of the Batman lore from the DC animated series to the actual comic books.
Yeah.
Being the New 52 and the 52, the legacy after that. So, now let's get into it.
Yeah.
Just the background there. Where should we start? Oh my gosh, there's so much. Well, you know what? Let's start with Barbara Gordon.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the character Barbara Gordon. It is changed. She is not a student.
Right.
She is not also into technology to go with the timeline.
Right.
Of the 1940s.
Spoiler alert for everybody.
Spoiler alert.
People may not have seen it still.
Well, this one doesn't kill anything that happens in the story arc. But spoiler, she is not into technology.
Yeah.
But she is a lawyer.
But that's because of the time.
That is because of the time frame of the 1940s.
Yeah.
So with that, I had no real issues with Barbara. Barbara kind of just stuck her nose out in places shouldn't have been. Because she was a lawyer. She was more forward in this TV show as a very pivotal character.
Right.
As that's what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
One of my biggest issues is another one of my favorite characters, which is Catwoman. Voiced by the amazing Christina Ricci.
Yes.
Not upset about that at all.
No.
She was an uptight, pompous klepto. Talk about it. She wasn't uptight.
There's so much to talk about with this series. Let's just touch on that. But
she had a maid that she hadn't paid. She was in an apartment with a bunch of cats, and she's like, well, I have to do this because daddy's in jail.
Yeah. I think for me, watching Catwoman's story and the one episode she appeared and disappeared in.
One episode.
Which to me was disrespectful. And I'm sorry. I am not trying to spoil it for you at all. Because there really isn't, it wasn't a massive linear storyline.
No,
it's just like,
it's separate.
like Kim was saying, it's very much like the OG Batman from the 90s. It is framed around that style. Okay. But it is not set forward. It's set backwards. It's set in the 1940s, where even if you looked at the OG Batman, you still try to
that little noir,
but you still try to figure out exactly what time period is this.
Is it 80s? Is it the 40s?
Present? Is it the? It's so back and forth. But regardless, the way they did the Cape Crusader here is definitely set in the 1940s. Now, with that being said, Catwoman looks like the Catwoman from the 1980s show, where they like dressed her up.
She's
not
the
the
purple.
Eartha Kitt, not the Eartha Kitt
the
one.
Purple.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's so cute.
Yeah.
You know,
Not-
she looks amazing.
Because in the original show with Adam West, they had 3 different Catwomen.
Yes.
Not the Eartha Kitt version, but I think it was the first or second one.
Yes.
And she kind of resembled that one.
It's the
to
whole
me.
purple suit, the hair's still out. She's
I
still looking
just-
cute. She's cute. She's cute.
I just don't like how quick that character came in and out, because she was poor trying to live rich. It wasn't, she didn't have the finesse of the cats like she's supposed to. She got caught the first time, and they outed her ASAP.
They knew who she was
Right away. They knew Selena Kyle. Point blank period. Done.
She was on the news on their little 12-inch screen.
Yeah, it took no time at all to catch her. She didn't even get through her first heist.
Baby girl.
Right. It was like,
Wasn't hiding it out, nothing.
I was like,
And then how it ended was even worse. Now, this is a huge spoiler. This whole section is a spoiler for anyone that has not watched it. She got caught. She was going, and she was like, her maid, pretty much. How it ends is she got caught, and she was like, well, sell everything and then bail me out. She's like, honey, I already sold everything and I'm going on vacation. Bye.
her maid threw her under the bus, literally, and dipped. That's how she got caught.
That's how she got caught.
That's how you get assassinated, friends.
Mind you, I didn't like it because I'm used to Selena holding her own. She's an independent woman who fights for herself and for her cats. And her character is, I don't need you, I got me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want you.
Even in Gotham.
But I don't need you.
But I don't need you.
Even in the TV show Gotham, she was a little kid. She was on the streets, and Selena worked hard to get where she was. Nobody knew she was a cat burglar. This one decided to be a cat burglar because she was like, I need money.
Right. Well, she was trying to stay up in the lifestyle that her father had given her. So she's trying to keep that. But it was very bratty. It was done in a very I'm hardy toddy, like I'm rich and I want to remain rich, you know, kind of attitude, compared to Selena, who we've known as a fighter. She's strong, and she doesn't let what she's going through affect her as the character, as the woman that she independently is. At the end of the day, the most important things to her is herself and her cats. And later on, it would become Bruce, but that's over time of their interactions together. And it just felt very cold, Batman to Selena, and her getting caught so easily just did not give the finesse of Catwoman. And I was just very disappointed, because I was like, you got the voice of Christina Ricci for this, and this how you do Catwoman. And she's not even my favorite person, but this is how you do, because I love Catwoman in general. I love Catwoman. I'm not saying no. What I'm saying is, she's not like, you know, I love Poison Ivy. I'm throwing down for Poison Ivy,
but it's not giving her true essence.
There you go.
In anything that Catwoman has done, this iteration of her is completely pulled away.
Yeah.
Not even the original 3 Catwomen that includes Eartha Kitt. I sadly cannot remember the other 2 names. But I know them. And they were all strong, independent women.
Mm-hmm. She never had to rely on anybody.
Never had to rely on it. She had her own henchmen.
Yeah.
So, what is this?
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing to see that. It was
very disappointing, and to see that the maid sold everything from underneath her and left her in jail.
The fact that Catwoman owed her and she was still working for her was kind of like, you're doing all this heisting and the one person you wouldn't pay is your maid.
And everybody knew it was her. It was really bad. And the thing is, when she did go to court, they just let her go, knowing that she was going to do it again.
Right. But that was just one aspect of this whole series, honestly, because I had started watching it and I was like, Kim, you got to watch this, because my partner and I had started watching it. The first episode, the switch is already right there.
So Penguin has been gender swapped.
Yes. So it's not Oswald Copper. It's not Oswald Copperpot.
It's Oswalda. It's Oswalda Cobblepot.
Why? Because I just want to know why. Because like it really, really messed me up. Like of all the villains, like Joker's always been my A1.
He's not in the show.
Wait. Just let her finish though.
No. Yeah, it's okay. I'm just saying he's my number 1.
Yeah.
But, why? Like the Penguin, when he first came out, I was terrified. I was terrified of him. I was like, I don't know why, but I was like, if a Penguin grew up, it'd be him.
Which one did you see? Did you see Danny DeVito's version? Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Rightfully so.
In the sewers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And the grime.
I think I loved that rendition. If any live rendition of Penguin, his is the one I think of. Yeah. And I get what you mean. He was scary. He just embodied a man thrown away and left to his elements. He embodied the penguin eating. Yeah, the part that grosses me out so much is just the fact that he actually was chewing on raw fish. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Like, he's ripping it apart. He's eating, he's acting like a real penguin. And it's beautifully done. Yeah.
And still,
Danny DeVito does not get enough credit for that.
That was a great movie. Tim Burton. Great movie, I feel. Yeah. Personal opinion. Because some people do not like that one. Personal opinion. Great movie. Well done. Well acted in. Yeah. So we have Oswalder Cobblepot.
It's a random switch. I have to say that. I have to say, like, watching, because when I first thought, I thought I was bugging. I was like, oh, that must be his sister. And it was like, no, that's Penguin. And I was like, oh, it's she. Not that we don't have enough. Like, I would have understood if we didn't have enough villain women. I was like, did we need to switch the Penguin?
I know. Because then I feel like you might as well switch Catwoman to Catman.
Right. At this point. And the way you did her dirty, you might as well just switch her out.
So Oswalda does have children as well. And
so there's baby penguin things?
is a lounge singer, but is also getting into the crime side and is trying to take over from Falcone. You know, Falcone been in Batman lore forever, but is trying to take over and trying to do her own thing by doing some stuff. So she's also a lounge singer, and she's voiced by a very I forget who. Minnie Driver is voiced by Minnie Driver. So we got some great names in here. And
she was just one of like many changes. Again, she mentioned like Gordon and Barbara being black, which in the 1940s, I mean, I respect the change for today's world. I know in the 1940s that a black man as a commissioner
With
Yeah, that would have been out of pocket.
There we go.
And her
especially in the 1940s. You know,
and her up there as a lawyer as well.
Yeah, but I respect where they were going with it. Then we had, like Kimberly said, Catwoman. She was a trip. I just felt like her whole story was just a waste. The Two Faces story, I think it was extremely long for...
Harvey Dent went over a 3-episode arc.
Which was ridiculous. I didn't think he needed that much time.
And it didn't show his crazy.
It did not.
It did not show him turn into Two-Face.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't...
You know, I really was a big fan of Two-Face.
I am a huge fan of Two-Face. I am a big fan of Two-Face. I
feel like they didn't use him enough.
The use of his... Of the it's the break.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. And it's always that with a lot of these Batman villains. It's the break.
Yeah.
It's what caused you to do this.
Yeah.
And Harvey was always Two-Face.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it was other things that broke him. And then when he did get into that accident, well, the original storyline is that there was an explosion of people trying to kill him. Yeah. There was that explosion, and that is how he burnt his face. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert, in the Cape Crusader, he is thrown with acid.
Yeah.
He never changes into Two-Face.
Yeah.
There isn't this harsh, thing. It's just he's still Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
Really and truly.
Yeah.
And
then from there, I think to me, one of the best storylines in there that I thought was really good was Clayface. The way they did Clayface's story, I actually was pretty impressed with it. I was
very impressed.
That was I think one of the only stories I was really happy with.
It actually pulls back to the original Clayface story of the animated series.
Yeah.
So it is very parallel to each other. Well done.
Yeah. So that one I would definitely say. I just think it was the way they created it was just on point. I'm gonna let Kimberly touch on Harley Quinn because that
now Jamie Chung voiced Harley. Harley is of Asian descent. No problems with that.
Yeah,
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
There is no Joker, so there is no cut to create Harley Quinn.
Right.
Dr. Harleen Quinzel is very serious about her work in the original. Now, please remember, Harley Quinn was created in 1993 by Bruce Timm for the animated series. Came because he saw Arlene Sorkin in... I believe it was General Hospital. It may have been Days of Our Lives. I can't remember. It was a soap opera. And Arlene Sorkin, may she rest in peace, was an amazing actress in that. And who eventually did voice the voice of Harley Quinn. And it's moved on to many other people like Grey DeLuise, Tara Strong. I followed Harley for a very long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is no longer black and red. She is green and yellow.
Yes.
Dr. Harleen Quinzel is very bubbly and very, oh yeah, my gosh, as Harley Quinn would have been. Harley Quinn in costume is very serious and very about her work. And very just, she's not.
It's bubbly. Not even, it's like, seriously, like, when she's about her torture. It is not a fun, whimsical,
it's not
exciting,
it's not
like, jokey woman. She's super serious. She's
super serious.
She's like, yeah. It is such a flip from Harleen Quinzel, who seems to be very bubbly and happy and wants to go out with her friends and potential love interest and da-da-da-da-da. And you're like, what's going on here? Now, doing a little bit of research, it found out that they wanted to do a spin on Harley in this series where instead of her being bubbly and excited as Harley Quinn and serious as Dr. Quinzel, they flipped it where she's bubbly and crazy as Harleen Quinzel, but she's serious as Harley Quinn.
She's about her torture.
Yeah.
She's about her.
And
this is why you do this. Now, there is nothing unlocking this crazy.
Right. hasn't met the Joker.
Joker has not been met.
Right.
There's no
crack.
There's no crack. This is just who she is.
They don't explain what makes her torture these patients of hers.
And
they just go into her just torturing the patient.
And there's no Arkham Asylum as well. So these aren't crazy people she's being a therapist for. These are rich men, and if she feels like the rich men have not given back to society, she then tortures them.
That's the reason. But it doesn't say, I see what you're saying. You don't know where she got, when she got
what
to that
made
point.
her snap.
What made her snap?
There's no snap.
What made her snap from Dr. Harleen Quinzel to Harley Quinn?
Right. Because if she's joking and bubbly as Harley Quinzel, what was the snap
would
to
you
make
wanna
you
be
go
serious?
so serious?
Right.
In the end, Joker, why so serious?
Right.
In every iteration of Harley, Joker brings out her bubbly. He brings out that whimsical.
He brings out. I don't want to just say her bubbly. I think he brings out the crack that she needs to.
There was already
bring out
cracked
in there.
He threw the door open.
Yeah.
He kicked it.
I mean, I feel like you can't help but go all the way once you deal with a patient like that.
Right.
And when you deal with enough patients, of course, there's going to be a crack.
Yeah.
It's just, what is the catalyst to finally throw you all the way out? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, not everyone could be completely sane to deal with what they have to deal with.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It takes a huge amount of strength to deal with, especially those kinds.
Therapist,
and the patients she was dealing with weren't normal.
Were Arkham Asylum patients.
Yes, those were normal.
What I'm saying is these patients that she's dealing with in the Cape Crusader are rich guys. They got money. She even, in there as well, she even has to be the therapist for Bruce.
Yeah.
For a time.
Wild.
Right.
Yeah, it was a little wild.
It was for anger management.
Of course.
And Bruce's whole storyline in this as well is a whole other time. We're going to take that in a minute. But Harley, I don't see why Harley Quinn in itself is so serious.
Yeah.
And I know what they wanted to do. Being a huge fan of Harley, I'm going to take it as it is.
It is what it is.
I love Bruce Timm. He's the one that wrote a lot of these stories.
Yeah.
He is producing it, and it also has J.J. Abrams, which is giving it that nice depth to it as well. But,
yeah. And then just other minor changes. Alfred is not as strong as you would think, like where he took care of Bruce. It just felt like Bruce told him what he wanted and he had to follow, period. Yes. Didn't matter. Even as a child, like Bruce told him what he wanted. And he doesn't call him Alfred, he calls him Pennywise.
Pennyworth.
Pennyworth the whole time. And it's very disrespectful. And
even Lucius Fox pulls it up in the show. He's like, Bruce, you should be more courteous to your staff. He was like, he's just the help.
Yeah. He doesn't treat him like a father figure at all.
Right.
Yeah. It's very...
And then he wants to
cold.
adopt all these.
Well, that's the next thing too.
He doesn't adopt.
All of them are kids. And all of them are at the same age and they're all around at the same time.
And they're all in an orphanage together.
Yeah.
They pull Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Stephanie Brown, and Kang.
Tim. Don't forget Tim.
Tim wasn't there.
Yes, he was.
Timmy. Yes, Tim Drake.
That is interesting.
All their same age. They all are
Is that when they become the Teen Titans?
Not even, because even in the Teen Titans, it was just Dick.
It was just Dick, and then it moved to Damien.
Dick Grayson, okay, y'all?
It was just Dick.
But you know what I meant.
Dick Grayson. Right, he was Teen Titans, and then it moved on to Damien.
Yeah, but they were all there.
That was just like that. It doesn't make sense.
You just threw all the kids together at the same time, as if they were like same age.
They all went. It was a carnival, and they all met one of Nocturna, who is a totally different character in the comics.
Yeah.
But wasn't there that one clash where like all the different Robins like met at some point?
Yeah, they all live together. They all know of each other, but the age range is huge.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like Bat Family age range is completely like Because Dick, you have to remember when he decided to move on to be Nightwing, and a new Robin came on. He was like 22.
Yeah.
The next Robin was like 15.
Yeah. So Kim was
Which is
talking
crazy,
about
'cause, like,
yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it's wild. It's
For a
wild.
lot of you of our fans, there's a webtoon called Bat Family where they make it very interesting and light. Actually not this season. The season's
I've
a little
seen
more
it.
darker,
Yeah, I've
which
seen a lot
I'm
of it.
enjoying with the Joker, but this season they all like live together. So like every single Bat person ever created, from Batwoman to Batgirl to Damien to Tim to Dick to Stephanie to all of them literally are in this Bat house, and basically Bruce is their dad. So it's
Bruce is their daddy.
it's the only time other than this Cape Crusader where I've seen literally all of them in there together. Even Bruce's own real son, they're all in this house together acting like they one happy-go-lucky family. And I'm sitting there going, I'm a little weirded out by it, but I'm going to keep reading. You know, like, it's not right, but it's right. You know, like, I'm going to keep doing this.
Right.
You know, so I would say if you do have a chance, just check it out.
Yeah. What to? We're good.
But back to this.
So Batman, him and himself, like Alfred, he's very, very cold. There's also a supernatural episode, which is completely nuanced. In it, there is Clayface, there's Penguin, there's Catwoman. Who else am I?
Yeah, it's all of them. It's just a lot of different parts. I think the only, like I said, the only one that sounded interesting was, or I found very interesting was, Clayface. They had Firebug. What was his name?
Firebug.
It was just weird.
Not Firefly.
No, Firebug. It was just a lot of like things, and I just feel like they didn't carve out a lot of the stories well enough. I didn't need the three episode arc for Two-Face, who didn't really become Two-Face. He was struggling internally with his own self just to the end to like end himself. I was just not okay with it.
A lot of these villains also, where there is no Arkham Asylum, which is also where we house all of these villains, and they never become unalived.
Right.
Okay. So to pull that and to have a lot of these characters have a one-off episode.
Yeah.
Catwoman we saw for one episode. Harley we saw for 3, but it was like a very side piece, and then it was her episode, and then she was gone.
Yeah.
Penguin we saw for 1.
It felt as if they weren't sure if this season would go past this one season, so we're just gonna like
we're
make
gonna
it
throw
short
it all
and
in
sweet,
there.
and we're just gonna make it sound like, you know, we got all the main characters, and that's it. So
I don't like Bruce's attitude. I think he's very pompous. He's not the bachelor that we expect Bruce Wayne to be, in the, you know, philanthropic person.
Yeah, and there was just a lot going on with this series. It was just too much.
I have seen that season 2 is on its way. It is being recorded. I will watch. Will I have my guard up? Yes. But I will watch. But tell me how you guys think about Batman on the Cape Crusader. The Cape Crusader. It is on Amazon Prime. All episodes are out. You can just binge it. They're 30-minute episodes, guys. You can just go through them really quick. But I would love to have a conversation about what your feelings are on these certain characters. Do you feel the same way I feel about Harley? Or maybe you did like Catwoman. Maybe you didn't like the Clayface storyline. Let me know. I'd like to hear it.
All right. Moving on.
So I have a few topics to hit.
All
I'll
right.
hit them very quickly for you guys. Okay. So this is a fact. So, you know, in the Sahara Desert, I'm sure a lot of you have heard this. If not, now you know. So in the Sahara Desert, they found, you know, whale carcasses or skeletals.
Okay. Yeah.
I believe it could be wound up. Yeah,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now that would mean that at some point climates were shifted.
Right.
Right. Which means that nobody really digs into the Sahara desert because of climate.
Yeah.
The wind. It'd be too much.
I'm done with you.
It'd be the wind.
It's the wind.
and the heat.
Right,
You know,
right,
yeah.
right.
So moving forward from that, now there is a theory about volcanoes that I have stumbled upon. And this theory is it's not the earth that is spewing lava.
So what it is then?
I'm going to get there. So now remember, scientists have found that under the earth's crust is water. This whole time we all believed it was lava and rock.
Magma.
And, magma.
Right.
Earthma, whatever is there. But it's not water. So here's the thing. There are theorists that have been looking up the structures around these volcanoes, quote unquote. And there are people that truly believe that these volcanoes are dragons, but not living dragons. So they're saying that essentially these dragons were so large, and once roamed, that when they died, their internal, system was holding onto this mass amount of lava.
Okay.
So when so essentially when they erupted, that was basically the inside of these dragons.
But what if they erupted more than once?
Exactly. So that's where this theory kind of becomes complex, because if a dragon is there, or has died or unalived there, and it's now 1,000 years later and it erupts again,
right?
What does that necessarily mean? So there's a lot of what do you call it? Contradiction with that theory, because you can see certain structures. It does look similar to
like the back,
right? The back, and then you if you look overhead, in the maps, it kind of represents seems like there's the dragon faces.
Oh my gosh, it's like Tafiti. And Taka.
I know you didn't just bring Moana up to me.
So
Stop. Don't encourage this. Don't encourage this. Don't do it.
because so at first I was gassing it, and I was like, oh shit, but then then that question popped in my head. I was like, how many times is that same unalived dragon going to blow up?
How dead is this dragon that keeps blowing up?
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
What? There are volcanoes that have gone 3, 4, 5 times.
What? I'm trying to figure out how many times does a dragon blow up? Isn't it supposed to be a one time? And is there more dragons?
I mean, if there is, they aren't that big anymore, because I could see definitely there was some kind of fire breathing something because of all the radiation.
I believe that,
because everything was 3,000 feet.
Look, as per the Land Before Time, okay.
You take these character references. You just hopped on Moana, and now you're just going straight to the Land Before Time. I don't know what's going on over here.
As per the Land Before Time.
All right.
The media came down, and the scientists have said this too, but they wrongs too. We don't know. We wasn't there.
Yeah.
The media came down and it destroyed all but that also erupted volcanoes and things like that. I still don't know, because it was supposed to be the rivers ran with magma from this day. But if it's water, the rivers ran with hot water.
Right. Or did the dragons die?
And then it froze. Well, the dragons, I don't know when the dragons came, but then it froze, which created the woolly mammoth. It's a lot going on. I'm all over.
I know there's a lot of
I think it's just a lot to take in, that there's potentially still dragons around. And the reasoning behind a lot of what we're experiencing is due to dragons.
Right. And I mean, what was it? China that, the mountain fell in and there's a whole thousands of year ecosystem down there. That whole, yeah. Like with species
I haven't
that
heard
we've
this
never
story though, but I can believe
this story.
Yeah, that happened like a year. No, not a year. A little longer than a year ago, where a mountain like caved in, and there's like historic trees and all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
I believe that.
It's the land of the lost.
Yeah.
Your references, but yes.
And then my last thing that I'm gonna hit you guys with for my categories is the land of Lumeria.
What is
the land of the light?
The land of the light.
The land of the light.
The Luminarians from Mew.
okay.
And so Lumerians, so it's supposed to be a ancient civilization, but when you look it up, they say it's mythological, just like Atlantis. However, there is proof that Atlantis was real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here's the thing that, people do not recognize. So if Atlantis existed,
Mm-hmm.
Lumeria or Mew has existed simultaneously with Atlantis. Because Lumeria was so big, it occupied not only the Pacific Ocean, but the Indian Ocean.
Okay.
Which essentially, you have it triangled here in the Indian Ocean, and you have it triangled off in the Pacific Ocean, which means that essentially any island in that vicinity, because technically Atlantis was not a singular area. Atlantis was a giant civilization of water.
Yeah.
And so here comes the fun facts. Those that were on these islands,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so essentially, any island that was around, or left, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
have the possibility of your roots or ancestral line of being part Lumerian.
Okay. So how would you find that out? You take a test?
Yeah, most likely you
So
take
you're
that
gonna
test.
take
Yeah.
23 and me, and you're gonna just be like, "Oh, you from Atlantis?
Ancestry.com. You know what I'm saying? Like just to figure out, like. But like, what is a Lumerian compared? Like, what's the difference between an Atlantean and a Lumerian if they're around? Like, what makes them different from an Atlantean?
So that's the thing, is that when you look this up, right? Essentially, there's not too much of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
However, the difference that is complied with a Lumerian is that they have reptilian-like features or habits.
Oh.
But that could essentially mean anything, because a reptilian can swim. A reptilian can climb.
Oh, no.
It can have XYZ.
Oh, no. Did you just say Lumerians are practically reptiles? No.
She said, "You keep that one."
I don't know if you brought this up way before or something, where there was like the potential for like people looking and underneath they're actually reptiles. I think I'm mixing up my Are You Afraid of the Dark with Goosebumps here, because right now
you might be. Yeah. You might be.
Because that's scary.
Absolutely.
That is.
Because if your eyes clink at me and I'm out skis,
and I
haven't had a drink,
I'm out skis,
or the devil's lettuce, I'm gonna tell you right now.
You better than me. You just gonna see my braids as I'm running, because I'm not sticking around. That's wild. I'm
Yeah.
thinking Atlanteans and Lumerians are like whatever the case might be, but you tell me one's a reptile and one's a human,
You know what it
or
reminds me of?
human-esque.
You know what is
Well,
horrible?
they're similar. So it's described as a reptilian humanoid. So essentially, it depending on what these civilizations had looked like back then.
Yeah.
They could be of a stronger descent, but also the fact that they swam, which like there is a village, I forget what area they're in, but they all swim. They're amazing swimmers. They can stay underwater for far longer than your typical average person or swimmer, but that is because they've evolved.
Yeah.
Their homes are in the water.
Yeah.
They dive to get their dinner, to feed their village. And so essentially, like, that would be a portion of Lumerian.
Yeah.
If you really look into it,
It's
because
like
it
Wakanda
hits,
forever.
like, in the way that it hits triangularly,
Yeah.
is like it hits Madagascar.
Yeah.
So like, that area may be descendants of
Mm-hmm.
Lumerians.
You know what it remind me of? And what that movie is? The original Super Mario, the little toe-like thing with the little head.
Y'all, can somebody throw this girl away right now? She's been hitting bat for bat some stuff.
Fun fact: Super Mario doesn't say "It's me, Mario." He says "It's me, Mario," which is Japanese for Super Mario.
Yeah. Wow. Who knew all these years?
Yeah.
Because
No.
my niece still be bopping around. It's me. It's me, Titi.
No. Just saying. It do, but look, I'm saying Super Mario. They had the little head, they had the big body.
They did, but still,
it wasn't a great, but still, yeah. Oh, that's scary. That's scary. Oh, nature, you scary.
That's it. Ooh, nature, you scary. All right. That is interesting.
If you guys know some more information about the Lumerians,
this is the first time I've heard of
This is the first time I've heard of Mew or the Lumerians. Send us a TikTok. Let us know more. Your conspiracy theorists.
Seriously.
I would love to learn more about that, and also anything else we've spoken about. I can't even remember now because it's the Luminarians have just gotten in my brain. The dinosaurs as the volcanoes. I want to know more. Is it Tafiti?
No.
Is it
no,
Taka?
it's not. No, it's not. It is not. Oh my gosh. Please let us know in the comments.
Thank you.
Yes, please let us know what you think. And if you guys know any more information about the Lumerians, definitely hit me up. And if you are a descendant of the Lumerians, definitely hit me.
Yeah, take the glasses off outside. It's like it was a dating application.
I'm done. All right. So, I had this question before, but it really hit, when we talked in the last episode about, Kim had brought up I brought up the question, and then it was just about different situations and relationships and stuff. And then she couldn't remember the person's name.
Yeah. Done. Gone.
Because
Still
it was like tapped out of her head.
Yeah. Oh.
So, but you can remember everybody else. So it's funny because it related to this question that I've had sitting here. So I'm going to ask it. Like in a resume, you make edits, as you move in your life, right? So new job, new position, new career path, whatever the case might be, you take out what isn't necessary anymore. In many cases, it may be like different resumes or different things. So that got me thinking, when it comes to life, do you edit out what is no longer needed or important?
Yes.
Why or why not? Like a bad ex, bad friend, horrible job, terrible family member. And how does that help you to grow and move forward in your life? How does that help you to grow and move forward in your life? So the question basically is, in your life, do you edit out what is no longer needed or important?
Now,
like it could be a person, it could be a thing, Like, for example, Kimberly unintentionally edited that person out of her head.
When
She
things go wrong?
remembered it could be
anything.
anything. Because when you think about it, like Kimberly edited that person, she remembered the situation,
I'll never forget the situation.
but she can't
But that
remember
person's name?
who that person's name.
Nah,
Compared to anybody else that she was there with, she can remember them.
every single one.
That's crazy. There's some people that I can remember situations with them, and I can slightly remember their face, but I may not be able to remember, what the situation was with them. Do you feel like as you're moving on in your life that and that was my comparison, a resume, you edit things from a resume to fit what you're going for, right? In your own life, are you editing or feel like you've been editing people, even if it's not intentionally, or situations in your life that you just felt like, I just don't need this anymore, or you just, just due to life happening, you just move on from that, and then it's just and how has that made your life?
I'm a big suppressor. I've always been that way. Growing or maturing. I think I guess I can say is I'm still working on that portion of me that like allows myself a time frame to be like upset or to have something in my head for longer than it needs to. Like I'm trying to cut that shit off. Like if it's not the same day, like 3 days and like it's over my head.
Yeah.
But I do have I do edit a lot of people out of my head. And the reason I do that is because I like my peace. I need my peace more than ever. And I quite frankly like the version of myself right now where I don't give a fuck when it comes to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like, but for certain situations and scenarios, I will shut that whole memory out, like shun it.
Yeah.
And it like, then, something always triggers like, oh yeah, like I went through something like that. Like, I don't know who it was with, but like, yeah, like,
The situation.
Yeah. But like, then I forget it again. Right. Like I think personally, when it comes to growing and, moving forward, that is something I do. I'm okay with it for myself. I mean, like, I never really thought of something like that.
Yeah.
But I do know that, like, after a while, I don't second thought these things anymore or these people.
Gotcha.
And I've been in I've had a couple scenarios where, like, I know that I know you from somewhere, but, like, if you shitted on me or, we had a bad fallout or whatever and we're face to face, you could still be mad all you want. I don't remember who the fuck you are.
Right.
Like, and that's just me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I probably won't even remember what happened. And that happens to me quite often. So I'm okay with it on my end.
Yeah.
Like, that's just, I think it works better for me that way. Like, you guys know how my anxiety gets with things and how I can overwhelm myself fairly easy when I overthink. And I think that the best thing for my, is
to cut it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull another reference for you. All right. Lucy. The movie Lucy.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
I love
Such a good
that movie. It's so underrated and it's such a good movie. And the way it says we only use 10% of our minds.
Yeah.
Which is, I to this day believe that it is so true. I can't keep everything in my mind.
Right.
Some things, like if we kept everything, if we were able even to tap into 5% more of our mind.
Yeah.
It's a wrap.
It's the catastrophic things that would happen. The things that we could see and download and remember because when she tapped, I believe it was only 2 or 3%, honestly, more. She tapped into her birth.
Yeah.
And remembered things from childhood.
Yeah.
Not things that made an impact on her life, but like regular schmegular things.
Yeah.
Like being in your mother's womb.
Wild.
Yeah. Wild. And I think we are created in that instance to only have that 10%.
Yeah.
For that reason. Because only certain things will shape who you are, and that's what you keep.
Yes.
And like this person, honestly, I do not remember who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And this person shaped my emotional state in that moment, and I want to remember that.
All right.
I want to remember that feeling of that emotional state in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it shaped me to be who I am now.
Mm-hmm.
So we remember things that make an impact in our lives. It may not be people, it may be situational.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, but I think it's also a human thing that, you know, we edit because we protect ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
We protect ourselves. I may not forget certain things, but in certain situations, you'll always see it too. In certain situations, not just any human will do it, and then a child will do it too. Hands up, and they'll back up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that is very much a trauma response.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be good trauma, it could be bad trauma. But it any way you put it, it's just it's a bodily response. It's your body instantly saying, whoa,
Yeah.
slow down. Give it
Yeah.
a minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing like when you sweat, when you're working out. It's your body's response to doing things you don't normally do.
Yeah.
Cause you know, it's just your body's response. Your body's response to keeping your mind sane is to edit.
It's true.
Cause you can't say, yeah, I remember what I ate 2 weeks ago. Bro, I don't remember what I ate 2 days ago.
Yeah. It's true. That is true.
Like you even edit like what you wear,
Yeah.
how you do things. Did I sleep? Like, and sleep too. People, please remember to sleep. Clear your mind.
Yeah.
So like, definitely, I think that's just in human and animal nature,
Mm-hmm.
because animals remember
Mm-hmm.
as well. You see how they said memory of an elephant? You want to have that type of memory. You want to know I think if we knew too much, even an extra 1-2%, we couldn't understand.
Yeah.
It would be too much.
I guess I just asked a question. I think I was thinking about it because it literally that question just came out of like thin air for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was at one point we're talking about resumes and we had talked about resumes and I was like, life is like a resume. You know, we do things where we are editing to fit what we're going for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to get where I want in my life, I need to make these sacrifices. I need to make these cuts because it's not good for me. It's not healthy for me. It's not beneficial to me.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't edit a good reason.
You won't edit something good. You're going to always edit the bad, but not all of the bad.
Not all of the bad. No, because
Right.
at the same time, I always believe that things happen for a reason. Things happen for a season. And I always believe people come in your life for, something, regardless if it's a 1 second interaction or several years or a lifetime interaction. Everyone comes into your life to teach you something or you get something out of that interaction. And if that interaction was more meaningful, you'll remember it. If that interaction was more traumatic, you'll remember it.
Right.
Because you're learning from both.
Right.
We're learners. We're being taught every day. We're learning something new every day. So it was just thinking like, as a resume, as you're editing it for where you want to be in your life, how do we, and I just use it as a metaphor as for our lives. What do we keep and what do we let go of to move us forward in our lives?
Right.
Because I feel like there are those times where there are a lot of people who can't edit. And because a lot of their interactions were the negative overpowered the positive, that they're editing, they can't edit any further than what they've been through. And so that's where we get into the places in our life where it's like we can't go past or we can't attain, or there is nothing to attain because we can't get past what we're going through. You know, so trying to cut this out, it's like what's left. And that's where a lot of us feel the emptiness and voids.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that. So that's why I was thinking, I don't know, just the resume ended up being a metaphor, and then talking in the last episode about how you just went through this situation, but you couldn't remember the person's name for the life of you. And it's like, because that person themselves was not significant enough to remember, but the situation was, because it taught you.
And you know, the thing is, I remember the manager I spoke to.
Yes.
I remember everybody else, but this person, gone.
Yeah. It's like, it just cut out of your factory. So I wanted to just kind of like gauge with you guys, like, and then I think some people make intentional edits. And I know I've done that. You know, there are things that you know, this is not good for me. And I have to cut this out. But I wanted to know, like, if it was these edits that we make, are they good for us, bad for us, how you've progressed with it. So I wanted to kind of fill out and I love both of your responses, because it's true. You do what's best for you. At the end of the day, you write your own story.
Right.
No one else can.
That's right.
And no matter who comes into your life, family, friend, or foe, it's your story at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? We do this journey of life with people, and we interact with people in and out of our lives. But at the end of the day, we come in and we go out alone. You know, it's not to say people aren't around us, but the journey is our own journey.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's like we have to make, you know, as we're writing it and we're journeying the story, we make our cuts and edits. We're our own playwright, you know.
100%.
You better play right.
100%.
So let us know, or I would love to hear what you guys think. Or do you guys make edits in your life? And how has that been beneficial to you? How has that worked out for you? Do you feel like that it has been positive? It's been negative? You're still figuring it out? I would love to hear your thoughts on that. And just leave a comment about it. All right. We're heading into our recommendations. And so, my recommendation, since it's a little still in the spooky, Spooksville, there was a new movie that came out on Netflix not too long ago. It's called, about a month ago, a little over, more in August. It's called Tarot. It is a very fun movie. I didn't find it that scary. I had some scare-esque type features in it, but if you scare easily, this is not for you. But it does mess around with tarot reading, and it's just this group of friends going to an Airbnb, finding this deck of tarot cards, and then the repercussions of using these tarot cards. So definitely check it out, and let us know what you thought about it. Your thoughts. I find that it was pretty good for what it was. I actually did watch it twice, and I do plan to watch it a few more times. You kind of see what you missed or didn't see, or didn't catch the first time. So check it out. It's Tarot on Netflix.
Awesome. So my recommendation is an experience. I am sorry, it is for New York people. It is based here in the New York Botanical Gardens. It is the Nightmare Before Christmas Light Trail. It's been going, it's a 9-week only event. It started September 27th, and it's going until November 30th. So there's still a ton of time to do it. It is timed entry. If you want an all-day entry, the cost is $55 to come in at any time. Or for adults, it is $49. If you have the timed entry, for children is $39. It is at the New York Botanical Gardens, and it's a night trail. So you do go at night. It has to be dark out. So it's around 6:30, 7 o'clock, and you will walk through lights and pumpkins, and it's so cool. This is the first time they're doing it for 9 weeks, and it's supposed to be just for the spooky season. So I think just to be a little spooky, try that experience out. See if you like it.
Nice. My recommendation is going to be my fave, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh.
It's going to be by now it should be streaming on Disney Plus. Yeah, it should be streaming on Disney Plus and then Hulu. I'm definitely not going to ruin that because it's Deadpool and Wolverine. So all my Deadpool fans and Wolverine fans, if you have not been caught up, catch up fast.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes. And that is it.
All right, guys. So thank you again to all of our listeners for listening and watching. We appreciate your support. It has been amazing and wonderful. Definitely keep on giving us recommendations. Keep us sending in your love. Let us know anything you're interested in. Again, check out our YouTube and our Patreon and our other platforms. We really appreciate everything that you guys support and do for us. So again, this has been
My Kinda Combo.